We start with the variation of acceleration due to gravity. Now let us take one or two few preliminary things. We try to understand these things. Let this be the earth. A particle of mass small m is falling down towards the earth. That means the weight of the particle is acting in a direction towards the center of the earth. So the weight of the body is mg. We all know what is the weight of the body, that is mg, and the Newtonian attraction is gmm by r square. Now what is capital M? Mass of earth. R is the distance between the particle and the center of the earth. Distance between the particle, the position of the particle and the center of the earth, that is r. So this is the relation from which we get g is equal to gm by r square. Now if the particle is at surface, then small r becomes equal to capital R. So if we replace m by 4/3 pi r cube, that is r is the radius of earth. R is the radius of earth. So taking the earth to be a sphere, we get the volume as a 4/3 pi r cube into density rho. Rho is the density of earth. So m is the mass, volume into density. So replacing the value of m into this equation we get 4/3 pi r cube rho by r square. We have taken the particle to be at the surface of the earth. So we get 4/3 g pi r rho. We have to remember this relation for further study. Now we are going to study the various aspects of the change in the value of g, small g as we call it. Now the first one is effect of Earth's elliptical surface. Now as the Earth has got a ellipsoidal surface, or you can call this surface as oblate spheroid also. Oblate spheroid, the name of the shape of the Earth is like a orange. Now if you can draw the shape of the Earth, now this poles are tapered, and this part, the radius or the equatorial radius, you can call this equatorial radius and this as the polar radius. Now we all know equatorial radius and polar radius is at a difference of 21 kilometers. The difference between the equatorial radius and the polar radius is 21 kilometers. So the value of g at the equator, that is we take it GE and GP. Now as the radius of the pole region is lesser, so the value of g at this pole will be more, because as g varies as 1 by r square, the radius of the equatorial region is more, so the value of g will be less. Value of the equatorial region is more, or r is more, that means g will be less, and the value of the radius at the pole is less, so the value of g will be more. So you can write g less than gp or gp is less than ge. The second point is a variation with altitude. That means if this is the earth, the center of the earth is here, this is the radius of the earth, we are taking the object from the surface of the earth to a point here which is at a height of small h from the surface. Now the value of g at the surface is g, and we have to calculate the value of g here at this point. We take it to be g dash. Now g dash is equal to gm by r plus h whole square. We already know that the value of g is equal to gm by r square. Small r, here small r becomes r plus h, and g is gm by r square, that is on surface. this is the value of g on surface, and this is the value of g at height of small h. Now taking the ratio of this to g dash by g, we get gm gets cancelled out, and it will be r square by r plus h whole square. Taking r square below the denominator, we get it like this. So 1 by 1 plus h by r whole square. So g dash is equal to g into 1 plus h by r whole square. So this is the expression from which we can calculate the value of g dash by replacing the value of the height and the radius of the earth, taking to be 6400 kilometers. And the value of g as given in the paper, or you can take it to be 9.8 meter per second square, standard value on the surface of the earth. Now using binomial theorem, we can deduce another formula like this: 1 plus h by r. If we take it to the numerator, from the denominator we take the expression to the numerator, it will be minus 2, and expanding it binomially we get minus 2h by r, that means plus 4h square by r square, and many more terms. We are going to neglect these terms and we will take the value up to 2h minus r, because h by r is very less, so h square by r square will also be very, very small. So we are going to neglect the higher order values and take it to be 1 minus 2h by r, up to 2h by r. Now g dash is equal to g into 1 minus 2h by r. You can apply this equation instead of this one whenever the value of h is less than equal to 10 kilometers and not above that. H must be equal to less than equal to 10 kilometers. Now the condition given in the question papers is that h is very less, h is very, very less, very small. They can use a small term like this: h is very small, then only you can use this formula. Or in the mathematical problems, if you are given that h is equal to 6 kilometers, now you know 6 kilometers is within the range of 10 kilometers, so you can use this formula instead of the previous one. So h is equal to 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers, 8 kilometers, but the maximum that you can take is up to 10 kilometers and not above that. If h is 12 kilometers or 14 kilometers, then you have to use this formula, the original formula. Now the third is the variation with depth, the variation of acceleration due to gravity with depth. Now this is a very tricky case. This is the earth, the particle was at the surface, the center of the earth is here. Now the particle, if it has moved down at the distance of h, suppose the particle has entered into the crust of the earth by depth of h. So now the value of g at the surface, we all know that is gm by r square. The radius of the earth is r. Now this portion, the length of the line joining the position of the particle at present and the center of the earth is r minus h. So the radius becomes r minus h. Now if the particle is at this position and we have to calculate the value of g at this position, that is g dash, the mass of the earth that is attracting the particle, at this point will be a sphere of radius r minus h into its density. So g dash will become gm dash. Now instead of m, the full mass of the earth, we are taking it to be m dash, because the particle is not being attracted by the whole earth but being attracted by a sphere which is of a radius r minus h and not r, and r dash square. Now what is gm dash? It will be 4/3 pi r minus h whole cube into rho, and r dash will be r minus h whole square. R dash will be r minus h whole square. Now we can also replace this one as g 4/3 pi r cube rho by r square. Now r square and r cube gets cancelled, also r minus h whole square and cube gets cancelled. So g dash by g means 4/3 g pi r minus h into rho into by g means it will become 3/4 g pi r rho. Now 4/3 eliminated, g gets eliminated, pi gets eliminated, rho gets eliminated. So the remaining part is r minus h by r, which we can write it like this: 1 minus h by r. R by r means 1 and h by r is h by r. So the final expression will be g dash equal to g into 1 minus h by r. This is the final expression. Now you can see that this has got a linear relationship, whereas in the previous case it was a inverse square relationship. 1 by 1 plus h by r whole square means inverse square relation. Here the relation is a linear relation. The relation is linear relation, whereas in the previous case it was a inverse square relation. Now we've got two relations, one for the altitude case and one for the depth case. Now we are trying to draw a graph which shows, or rather which will show, the variation of g. This is g and this is the distance from center of earth. The variation of g with the distance from the center of the earth. Now if we take this origin to be the center of the earth, origin as the center of the earth, and suppose this distance is r, so the surface of the earth is here. Now the variation with depth has got, we have already studied that it is a linear relationship between the value of h and g. So a linear relationship means a straight line from the origin starting from the center of the earth. The variation is g proportional to r, and the part which is above the surface of the earth, that means according to the relation number 2, we can get it like this, because this is an inverse square relationship. The shape of the graph, this will be inversely proportional to 1 by r square. So the value of g at the surface is the maximum. We have to keep in mind this fact, that the value of g at the surface of the earth, now this is called the surface of the earth. The value of g at surface is the maximum. The fourth aspect, that is the effect of the diurnal motion. Now you have to understand the diagram very well. This is the earth, center of the earth. This is the equatorial line. If we take a particle to be here, now the axis passes to the center. If we take the particle to be here, then this particle is rotating in a circle like this. Take the radius of the circle to be smaller, the radius of the earth to be capital R. So this line is also the radius of the earth, that is r, and this angle is lambda. Now what is lambda? It is the latitude. It is known as the latitude. Now the mass m is revolving or rotating in a circle of radius smaller. The value of the angular velocity of the earth is omega. Now force acting on the particle in the outward direction, radially outward, we all know that it to be m omega square r, or rather the centrifugal force. Now we are dividing this centrifugal force into two components. One component will move like this, radially outward, and one tangentially downward. Now if this is lambda, this is lambda, that means the alternating angle. If this is lambda, this is also lambda, vertically opposite. So m omega square r, so this component will be m omega square r cos lambda, and this component will be m omega square r sin lambda. Now as this m omega square sin lambda is at an angle of 90 degree with the radius vector, that means a tangent, so this will become a no work force. But m omega square r cos lambda will do a particular work, that is reduce the weight of the body. That means if the earth is rotating with an angular velocity of omega, then the weight acting downwards to the center of the earth is mg, weight acting downwards is mg. So we have to subtract m omega square r cos lambda from mg, because the force is acting radially outwards in the opposite direction to the weight. M omega square r cos lambda, so we get that to be let it be mg dash. Now you have to keep in mind one thing very clearly, that this mg means the weight of the earth, the weight of the body when the earth is not moving. The weight of the body, this is known as the weight of body or mass m, when the earth is stationary. But this mg is the actual weight that we receive, actual weight that we find out or calculate as earth rotates. So the value of small r is variable, because we can place the particle at different positions in the earth. So to get a fixed value, we can convert the value of small r into capital R using this relation. This triangle means this is lambda, so this is capital R, this is small r. So we can write cos lambda is equal to small r by capital R. So cos lambda, so or r is equal to r cos of lambda. So replace the value of r here, replace the value of small r with r cos lambda. So we get the expression as mg dash is equal to mg minus m omega square r, r cos lambda, and already cos lambda exists here, so both together will become cos square lambda. So eliminating m from both sides, we get g dash is equal to g minus omega square r cos square lambda. Now at poles, lambda is equal to 90 degree, therefore g dash is equal to g. So the place at which we get the actual value of, or rather the value of g, if the earth is not rotating at the poles, we will get the value of g dash is equal to g. That means the value of g when the earth is not rotating at the poles. We get the value at the poles now practically. But at equator, lambda is equal to 0 degree, so g dash is equal to g minus omega square r. Now value of cos lambda is 1, which we get for lambda is equal to 0, or the maximum value of cos is 1. So the maximum is omega square r, the subtracted part will be maximum when it is omega square r, or rather lambda is equal to 0 degree. So the value of g dash will be, or the value of g will be affected, the maximum at the equator. The equator is the position at which the value of g gets reduced by the maximum amount, that is omega square r. Now from this part you can be asked to find out the value or the weight of the body if the earth would not rotate. Question is weight of body if earth did not rotate. So the value of the weight of the body is this mg. We know that this mg is the value of the weight when the earth is stationary or not rotating. So we can write mg is equal to mg dash plus m omega square r cos square lambda, and replace the values of this term part to get the value of mg, weight of the body if Earth did not rotate.